What does low fat really mean, in my opinion? Low fat really means to me not consuming all of these vegetable oils, like pouring tons of olive oil onto your salad, eating sticks of butter, taking tablespoons of coconut oil, taking all this hemp oil, all these other different things. And I want to make something very clear, and that is that I'm not necessarily saying that coconut oil and hemp oil and butter and all these other oils and fats are bad. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm giving you, in my opinion, what I think low fat means. It basically means you're not consuming all of these oils, these vegetable oils, and you're not consuming a lot of the high fat foods. It doesn't mean that you're never consuming them, but in the overall picture of your diet, of what you're actually eating every day, if you're looking at the overall big picture, the large majority of your diet is not coming from all these oils, and animal products which are high in fat. So, because low fat is very misleading. Usually, if you tell somebody that you're on a low fat diet, most people, especially if they aren't into this whole health thing, will think that what you mean by that is when you go shopping for food, you'll try to look for low fat on the box, low fat cookies, low fat crackers, fat free this and fat free that. And that's actually very bad information. Okay, if you're buying things that say fat free and low fat, chances are you're buying very unhealthy food, because those are all processed foods in boxes and packages. So that's not healthy. That can't be healthy. Just because something says low fat or fat free doesn't make it healthy. What makes something healthy is whether it's actually a whole food or not, because that's what your body knows and can recognize and can digest and use, and still retains its vitamins and minerals and enzymes and other things that are important for your health. And most people aren't consuming raw animal products, and there's risks to consuming raw animal products. Just as there's risks sometimes in consuming raw vegetables, There sometimes can be E. coli in raw spinach. Now, I'm not saying never to eat raw spinach, and likewise I would never tell someone not to eat a raw egg. The choice is yours of what you want to eat. But I will say that if someone is intentionally seeking out low fat or fat free on products, that's not healthy, and you need to stop doing that. So, eating a healthy diet means picking out foods that are still in their whole form, that still retains their vitamins. Okay, a lot of the foods are still whole, like rice, like beans, like vegetables, like fruits. These foods are usually in their whole forms, and you either cook them or eat them raw. And you're getting the fibers, you're getting the natural fat that's present in them, and that's all really, really good for your body. But when you start processing foods and you're adding oils in, like, vegetable oils, olive oil, peanut oil, canola oil, soybean oil, hydrogenated fats, a lot of these fats and stuff is all added to processed foods and packaged foods, foods that people are buying, foods that most people eat the most of every day. And that's not healthy, because there's such an overabundance of these oils and fats, and not to mention that those fats and oils are unhealthy fats and oils. And, they're rancid, which causes oxidation, which causes inflammation, which causes more disease. So low fat to me really means avoiding all of the oils and things, because an oil is basically a processed food. Okay, take for instance peanut oil. Okay, peanut oil comes from peanuts. Why not just eat a handful of peanuts and get the oil inside of the peanut along with all of its vitamins and everything? That's actually a good way to get peanut oil. Not taking peanut oil by the tablespoons or spoonfuls, because that's processed. Okay, they took the oil out of the peanut and they separated everything that was actually in the peanut. Now, I'm not saying never to have peanut oil, and I'm not saying never to have coconut oil or all these other different kinds of oils. But if you're going to eat them every day and treat them as a health food, I think we are, as people that are seeking abundant health, doing ourselves a disservice. And it's really true. I mean, think about it. Are we really going to be healthier for taking tablespoons of coconut oil? Are we really going to be healthier for taking tablespoons of olive oil? Could we actually live on that? We probably could, but there's no vitamins, there's no minerals, there's nothing in oil. All there is in oil is fat and calories. There's no fiber. There's no other important parts of nutrition, like amino acids that are so necessary for our health. So if someone's consuming the majority of their calories from oils, they're not really getting a whole lot of nutrition. They're just getting a whole lot of energy or calories. But you need more than just energy or calories to have great health. You need antioxidants, phytonutrients, things that prevent disease and keep you healthy. So, in my opinion, and the way that I look at this, is that if we are going to consume fat, it would be much better and wiser to pick the fat that's in its whole food form. So, for example, if I wanted to get coconut oil, instead of just taking the oil, I'll eat a coconut, you know? And think about it. A coconut's in this really round, hard shell, and it's really hard to get at, you know? And it takes a long time just to crack one of those things open. Unless you have like some sort of machete, you know, and you're like David Wolf and you can open those things in a jiffy. But even still, you know, they're in a hard shell for a reason. They are rich foods. Most of the rich foods are in hard protective coverings or shells, or they're really hard to get, like an animal. Animals are very rich foods. And it takes time to kill them, you know, or to hunt them. It takes time. So they're not readily available like going outside picking berries and things like that. So there is a reason why rich foods are a lot harder to come by. And most people eat a very rich diet of these foods. And they have a lot of health problems, a lot of health conditions. So my opinion is, you know, just try to stay away from a lot of these rich foods and eat more simple, basic whole foods. And be content. Because that's the other thing. A lot of people are not content today. And people are gluttons. And this goes way past this diet thing alone. This is a heart issue too. A lot of these things are a heart issue. People eat to make themselves feel better because they might be having problems spiritually or in their family. You know, you might be going through some hard times and you might be using the fat in these other kinds of foods to help you feel better. You know, so there's all kinds of different ideas, you know, that we could get of why someone's consuming a lot of these rich foods. So, yeah, low fat, in my opinion, means, you know, you're not consuming all of these oils and rich foods. But when you do consume fat, you're consuming it in its most healthiest form and in way by eating the whole food. So if you want olive oil, have some olives, you know. If you want some coconut oil, have a coconut. In that way, you're getting everything that's actually in the food, not just the oil. So you're doing yourself a better service, and you're giving yourself more nutrition doing it that way. And like walnuts. Walnuts have been shown to improve the vascular system. So, don't be misled by someone saying low fat. To be honest with you guys, I don't count calories. I don't count my percentage of fat. I don't count my percentage of protein. I just eat very simple and basic, you know, and I just live my life, and, you know, I don't live by a diet, I live by principles. And these set of principles are what allows me to have good health. Okay. I like to use a lot of common sense, something that a lot of people aren't using today. they're more or less going from guru to guru, going from this extreme to that extreme, and giving you a lot of watered down explanations of things and just repeating a lot of the same things. I mean, most people know that when they come to my YouTube channel, one of the main things people like about my YouTube channel is because I have such good topics that a lot of people don't even talk about. Or they might think, oh, that's not really important, but it is important, you know? And I like to give in-depth, good information, you know, so that people can make good decisions. So it's not always a clear-cut thing, you know. Not everything is black and white, and a lot of people like to have everything black and white because it's kind of how we're wired, you know. But it's much more complicated than that, and everybody is different. Everybody requires different things, but if you live by these set of principles, you know, and you're using common sense, you really can make a difference, and you can start having better health. And you know, so don't be brainwashed and misled and think that consuming oils and all these other things are good and health promoting, because they're really just processed, okay? And it's not to say you can never have some coconut oil. It's not to say you can never have olive oil. It's not to say you can never have avocado oil. It's just the amount that you're consuming these things can make a big difference, you know. If you simply cut out a lot of these oils and you were overweight and you cut them out, you would lose weight. You know, because that's just extra calories. And if you just replace those empty nutrition oils with some whole foods, like a vegetable, like broccoli or something, you know, I just steamed broccoli, you'd have a lot more nutrition. So these are just some things to think about, and I just really wanted to clear up the confusion about low fat. Because to me, just because someone says low fat, it could mean a lot of different things. And I want to leave you with this final point, and that is, when I say low fat, that does not mean that I don't eat any fat. I do eat fat, but I make sure that when I eat my fat, it's in the best possible form, which is a seed, a nut, which actually is health promoting. Check out Dr. Furman. He has a lot of good information about fat and how fat, you know, a lot of people demonize fat, and a lot of people go to the other extreme and praise fat and say we need to eat 80% of our diet is fat. So there's, you know, make sure that you don't go from that extreme to the other extreme. Try to find a good balance and eat foods that are in their whole food form, because that's what's best for you anyways. So if you like this video, please favorite, like, and subscribe.